My mother said it on a Friday afternoon in November, not asked, not suggested, not proposed as something we might discuss and consider from multiple angles before reaching a mutual decision. She said it, standing in my kitchen, in the house I had bought 3 years earlier, the house my parents had co-signed for, because at 25 I had not yet built enough credit history to qualify for the mortgage on my own. The house that was, legally speaking, partially theirs until the mortgage was paid or refinanced in my name alone. We have taken a loan against the house, she said. $523,000. Your sister needs it for her business. You will need to make the payments. It is your duty as the older sister. I was standing at the counter, slicing vegetables for dinner, a Friday evening after a long week at the architectural firm where I worked as a senior project manager. I had been looking forward to a quiet weekend, some time in my house, my space, the place I had worked for and saved for and built exactly the way I wanted it. The knife was still in my hand when she said it. I set it down carefully on the cutting board, turned to face her. You took a mortgage against my house, I said. My voice was level, even. I was very good at even by this point in my life. Our house, she corrected. We are on the deed. We co-signed. Technically, it is as much ours as yours. I have been making every payment for 3 years. That does not change the ownership structure. We have rights as co-signers. We exercise them. For $523,000. Your sister needs it. Her bakery business requires capital. The bank approved her for a business loan using this property as collateral. It was the only way she could get approved. I looked at her, at my mother, Sandra, who had raised me and my sister Kendra with a very specific understanding of family hierarchy. Kendra was 4 years younger, 25 to my 29. Kendra was the creative one, the artistic one, the one who needed support and understanding and financial backing because her dreams were too important to be limited by practical concerns like how to fund them. I was the practical one, the one who got an engineering degree and then a master's in architecture, the one who worked 70-hour weeks and saved money and bought houses with co-signers, because I was responsible and planful and did everything right. And now the house I had bought with my savings for the down payment and my income for every monthly mortgage payment was securing a $500,000 loan for my sister's bakery business that I had not been consulted about. The payments are $6,000 a month, my mother continued. We added them to the existing mortgage. The bank said your income supports it. You should not have a problem. Should not have a problem. You make good money. You are single. You do not have children. $6,000 a month is manageable for someone in your position. And if I do not pay? My mother's face hardened slightly. Then you will be in default. The bank will foreclose. You will lose the house. We will lose the house. Your sister will lose her business funding. That would be very selfish of you. Selfish. Yes, very selfish. Kendra is trying to build something. She needs support. You have always had everything easy. You got the scholarships. You got the job. You have the stable career. This is your opportunity to help someone who has not had your advantages. I looked at her for a long moment, at the woman who had watched me work 3 jobs through college to minimize my loans, who had watched me save for 5 years to afford a down payment, who had co-signed for my mortgage not because she wanted to help me, but because she wanted the asset on her credit report and the future leverage it would provide, who had just leveraged it for $500,000 without asking me. When did you do this? I asked. Last week. The closing was Thursday. You did not tell me. We did not want to worry you until it was finalized. You took a loan against my house for $500,000 and did not tell me until after it was done. Our house, she said again. And yes, it is done. The money has been transferred to Kendra's business account. The first payment is due December 1st. That was 8 days away. I turned back to the cutting board, picked up the knife, continued slicing vegetables with very careful, precise movements. My mother watched me for a moment. I am glad you understand, she said. This is what family does. We support each other. I understand, I said quietly. She left shortly after. I finished making dinner, ate it alone at my kitchen table in the house that was apparently not actually mine in any meaningful sense. Then I opened my laptop and started making calls. My name is Jasmine. I am 32 years old now. This happened when I was 29. I am an architect at one of the top firms in the region. I design buildings that last. that serve communities, that solve problems through thoughtful spatial planning and structural integrity. I bring the same thoughtful planning to my personal life. I had been planning my exit from my family's financial control since I was 26 and first understood how the co-signing arrangement could be used against me. I had been saving, not in accounts my parents knew about, in accounts I had opened separately. I had been building credit independently through credit cards and small personal loans I did not need but took anyway and paid off ahead of schedule to establish history. I had been preparing for the day when they would do exactly what they had just done. Use the house as leverage, make demands, frame those demands as family duty. I had 3 years of preparation. I was about to use all of it. The first call was to a mortgage broker I had been working with quietly for 8 months. A woman named Patricia Reeves who specialized in helping people refinance out of complicated co-signer situations. I told her what had happened. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "That is legal but extremely aggressive. They essentially took a second mortgage without your knowledge using their co-signer rights. Can I refinance out of it? Not easily. Not with a $500,000 second mortgage now attached. Your debt-to-income ratio will be too high. But let me look at the numbers. Send me everything. The original mortgage docs. The new loan documents if you can get them. Your current financials." I sent them that night. The second call was to an attorney. Real estate litigation. A man named David Park who had helped a colleague navigate a property dispute 2 years earlier. I explained the situation in the precise language I had learned to use in professional settings. The facts without emotion, the timeline, the amounts, the legal structure that had allowed this to happen. He listened. Then he said, "They have the legal right to do what they did, but the way they did it without notice, without consultation creates some potential claims. Let me research this. But Jasmine, I am going to be honest with you. Getting out of this quickly will be difficult. The loan is legal. You are on the hook for it unless you can prove some kind of fraud or undue influence, which will be hard given that they are on the deed. What if I stop paying?" I asked. A pause. "Then the property goes into foreclosure. All of you lose it. Your credit is destroyed. Your parents' credit is destroyed. Your sister's business funding evaporates. That is the nuclear option. I do not recommend it unless you are prepared to lose everything. What if I sell the house? You cannot sell without their agreement. They are on the deed. They would have to sign off on the sale. And if they refuse, then you are stuck." I thanked him, ended the call, sat at my kitchen table for a long time. The nuclear option. Interesting phrasing. The third call was to a financial advisor I had been consulting with for 2 years. A woman named Michelle Tang, who managed investments for young professionals and had helped me structure my savings in ways that maximized growth while maintaining liquidity. I told her the situation. She swore quietly. Then she said, "How much can you access in liquid capital right now?" "I have 83,000 in savings accounts. Another 47 in brokerage accounts I can liquidate quickly. Some retirement accounts, but touching those would cost penalties. So roughly 130,000 available." Yes, that is not enough to pay off the new loan. Not even close. I know, but it might be enough for something else. What are you thinking? I told her. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "That is aggressive." They were aggressive first. Fair point. Let me run the numbers. I spent the weekend researching, reading, planning. By Monday morning, I had 3 options mapped out in a spreadsheet with detailed financial projections for each. Option 1, pay the $6,000 a month. Bleed myself financially for the next 7 years while my sister built a bakery business on my back and my parents congratulated themselves on their clever use of family assets. Option 2, stop paying. Let the house go into foreclosure. Destroy everyone's credit. Move into an apartment and rebuild from scratch. Option 3, something else. I chose option 3. On Tuesday, I met with Patricia, the mortgage broker. She had reviewed my financials and had news that was not good but was not as catastrophic as I had feared. "You cannot refinance with the current debt load," she said. "But if the second mortgage were paid off, completely eliminated, you could refinance the original mortgage in your name alone and remove your parents from the deed. How much would I need to pay off the second mortgage?" "All of it. 523,000 plus the processing fees. Call it 530 total. And if I could do that? Then yes, we refinance the original mortgage, which is much more manageable. You have excellent credit independently now. Strong income. 3 years of perfect payment history. You would qualify easily. How long would the refinance take?" 60 days if we move quickly. I thanked her. Asked her to prepare the paperwork for a refinance, assuming the second mortgage would be eliminated. She said she would have it ready. On Wednesday, I met with David Park, the attorney. I told him what I was planning. He looked at me with the particular assessment of someone recalibrating their understanding of their client. "You are going to pay off your sister's loan," he said. "I am going to pay off the second mortgage that happens to be funding my sister's loan." Yes, that is over $500,000. I have savings. I have investments I can liquidate. I have a retirement account I can borrow against. And I have a credit line I negotiated 6 months ago for a situation exactly like this that I can draw on. I can assemble $530,000 if I have to. That will leave you with very little cushion. It will leave me with a house that is mine, without co-signers, without leverage. That is worth more than a cushion. He nodded slowly. And then what? Then I refinance in my name alone, remove my parents from the deed, and never speak to them about money again. They will be angry. They made me responsible for $500,000 without asking. I am simply fulfilling that responsibility in a way that serves my interests. They cannot complain about me paying off a loan they put in my name. He smiled, not warmly. The smile of an attorney who has just realized their client is 3 steps ahead of the opposition. "I will draft the documentation," he said. It took me 4 weeks to assemble the money. I liquidated brokerage accounts, took a loan against my $401,000, which hurt but was necessary. Drew on the credit line I had established quietly with a regional bank 6 months earlier when I first understood this day was coming. By mid-December, I had $532,000 in liquid capital. On December 18th, I paid off the second mortgage in full, every dollar. The bank processed it, sent confirmation. The second mortgage was satisfied, eliminated, gone. I did not tell my parents I was doing this, did not call, did not explain, just paid it. Then I immediately initiated the refinance. Patricia had everything ready. We moved through the process at speed. By late January, the refinance was approved. The original mortgage was restructured in my name alone. My parents' names were removed from the deed, removed from the mortgage, removed from any legal connection to the property. The house was mine, completely, finally, without co-signers or leverage or anyone who could make decisions about it without my permission. I sent my parents a certified letter on February 3rd. It was written by David Park in the careful legal language that attorneys use when they want to be very clear without being inflammatory. It informed them that the second mortgage they had taken against the property had been paid in full, that the property had been refinanced exclusively in my name, that their names had been removed from the deed as part of the refinance process, that they no longer had any ownership interest or legal rights to the property. It thanked them for their initial co-signing assistance 3 years earlier and noted that their obligations under the original mortgage had been fully satisfied and released. It did not mention the $500,000 they had taken without asking, did not mention duty or family or older sister obligations, just stated the facts. The mortgage was paid. The property was no longer jointly owned. "Thank you for your past assistance." My mother called 20 minutes after she received the letter. I was at work. I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail was 4 minutes long. She said I was ungrateful, said I had betrayed the family, said Kendra's business funding was supposed to be secured by that mortgage and now Kendra would have to find other collateral, said I had been selfish and cruel and had forgotten where I came from. I saved the voicemail, did not respond. My father called that evening. I answered, "Jasmine, yes, what you did was extreme. Your mother is very upset. I paid off a loan that was taken against property I had been making payments on. That is not extreme. That is responsible financial management. You know what I mean. You removed us from the deed. You cut us out. I removed you from a property you used as leverage without my knowledge or consent. If you want to be on a deed, buy your own property." He was quiet for a moment. "You had no right. I had every right. It was my money that paid off your loan, my refinance that structured the property solely in my name. All of it legal, all of it documented. You are not owed an explanation for how I manage my finances. This is not how family works." "You are right," I said. "In a family, you do not take a $500,000 loan against your daughter's house without asking her. You did not operate as family. I am simply responding in kind." He hung up. Kendra called 2 days later. Her voice was different, smaller. She said, "Mom says you paid off the mortgage." "I did. I did not know they were going to do that. Take the loan without asking you. I thought you had agreed to it. I did not know whether this was true, but it did not matter enough to interrogate. The loan is paid, I said. Your business has the funding. That part is done. Mom says you will not help anymore, that you cut them out of your life. I removed them from my property deed. That is not the same thing as cutting them out of my life, but I will not be used as collateral for family financial decisions I am not consulted about. If that is what you mean by help, then correct. I will not help in that way. She was quiet. Then, I am sorry. I did not think it would happen like this. I know, I said. Take care of yourself, Kendra. I saw my parents once after that, at a cousin's wedding 6 months later. We were polite, distant, the kind of distance that two parties maintain when they have fundamentally different understandings of what occurred and have decided that debating it openly would cost more than maintaining the fiction of normalcy. My mother introduced me to relatives as her daughter, who works in architecture, did not mention the house, did not mention the loan, did not mention that she and my father had taken $500,000 of leverage against my property and I had paid it off and removed them from any future ability to do so again. I did not mention it either, just smiled, made small talk, left early. Kendra's bakery operated for 2 years, then closed. The business model had not been sustainable. The funding had been insufficient despite being $500,000. The dream had been bigger than the market could support. She got a job at a marketing firm, moved on, mentioned once in a family group chat that she had learned a lot and was grateful for the experience. I noticed she did not mention who had actually paid for that experience. But I did not correct the record. Let it stand as it stood. I am 32 now. 3 years past the Friday when my mother stood in my kitchen and told me I would be making $6,000 monthly payments on a loan I had not agreed to because it was my duty. I am still in the house. The mortgage is in my name only. The payments are manageable. The property has appreciated significantly. I have rebuilt my savings. I have rebuilt my retirement accounts. I have rebuilt everything I liquidated to pay off the $500,000 loan my parents took without asking. I have never regretted it. Not the cost, not the liquidation, not the stress of assembling that much money in for weeks, not the decision to remove them from the deed. Because here is what I learned. When someone tells you that compliance is your duty, you have two choices. Comply and accept that they will use that precedent every time they need something from you, or refuse in a way that permanently removes their ability to compel you again. I chose the second option. It cost $500,000 and 60 days of intense financial maneuvering and the permanent rearrangement of my relationship with my parents. It was worth every dollar. They cannot take another loan against my house, cannot use my property as leverage, cannot frame their demands as duty because I have already demonstrated that I will pay to be free of those demands rather than accept them. That is not a small thing. That is the most important thing. My mother said it was my duty as the older sister. She was wrong about that. My duty is to myself, to the house I worked for, to the life I built. I paid $500,000 to make that truth permanent. It was the best money I ever spent. Here is what I want to know. If your parents co-signed on your house and then took a $500,000 loan against it without asking you, would you have done what I did and paid it off to remove them from the deed? Or would you have just made the payments and kept the peace? Some people say that you should never let family financial disputes destroy relationships. Others say that when someone uses your property as leverage without your consent, all other considerations become secondary. Do you think I was right to liquidate everything I had built to pay off that loan and remove them? Or should I have just accepted the $6,000 a month? And the question that keeps me thinking, when you pay $500,000 to remove someone's control over your life, is that freedom or is that just a very expensive boundary? Tell me your honest answer in the comments. If you believe people should face the consequences of their actions, hit subscribe. I have got more stories of justice that will blow your mind.